I watched the same traffic do two completely different things. Same offer, same audience. One funnel tried to close people immediately. High pressure, countdown timers, instant pitch. It bled money. The other slowed down the ask, set expectations, and sold on day 3. And it worked. Look, the traffic hasn't changed, the systems have. Most funnels built in 2024 are now underwater. Not because they're bad, but because they were designed for a buyer that no longer exists. This video is about what changed and how to rebuild before 2026 punishes you for waiting. Something subtle has happened in the digital marketing world. Not a crash, not a boom, but a gradual shift. And most people are responding to it in the worst possible way, obsessing over tactics that used to work instead of redesigning the systems underneath them. I'm saying this because I watched the same traffic behave completely differently depending on what happens after the click. Same offer, same audience, wildly different results. See, you'll often hear that, hey, ads are too expensive, people are not buying anymore, the economy is tight. But if that were true, everyone would be losing. That's not what's happening. Some businesses are quietly stabilizing, even growing. Some funnels are recovering without discounts. Others are running the same ads, same offers, same pages, and they feel heavier and more lossy every single month. The difference isn't luck, it's alignment. In a minute, I'll show you the single metric that reveals whether your funnel is misaligned to your audience. And later, I'll break down the 4 structural changes that makes funnels durable in 2026, even if ad costs rise again. But first, let's talk about what actually changed, because most marketers are getting the macro story completely wrong. What makes 2026 dangerous isn't volatility, it's false familiarity. Things look similar enough that people keep pushing harder instead of asking a better question. Is my system designed for how buyers behave now or how they used to? The question decides who struggles in 2026 and who compounds. Let's start with what actually shifted. When uncertainty rises economically, politically, culturally, buyers don't disappear, they hesitate. You will see this in longer decision cycles, lower same-session conversion rates, and more, let me think about it behavior. Even on proven offers that converted reliably 6 months ago. Buyers are comparing more, they delay commitment, they punish friction harder. They need more reassurances before they actually make the move. This doesn't kill the demand, it changes the shape of the demand. And here's what most marketers miss. Digital platforms don't soften that change, they amplify it. Platforms reward signals of certainty. Strong engagement, predictable follow-through, clean post-click behavior. And platforms punish systems built on impulse, speed, and pressure. So when people blame the economy, what they're actually experiencing is a mismatch. Their funnel was designed for a confident, fast-moving impulse buyer. That buyer is now cautious and moving slowly. The same person, just different mode. Which brings us to the platform question. Because this is where confusion turns into expensive mistakes. See, every few months someone declares a platform dead. Meta's finished. YouTube ads don't work anymore. Google search is tapped out. None of that is true. Here's what is actually true. Platforms have gotten better at identifying low confidence traffic paths. Not low intent, just low confidence. And there's a difference. If your system assumes fast decisions, minimal context, thin trust, you will feel friction everywhere. You'll have higher CPMs, worse conversion rates, longer payback windows. But if your system assumes staged commitment, expectation setting, continuity after the click, then platforms quietly cooperate. And I've got the numbers. Here's the proof. I've seen the same offer, same creative, same audience, performed completely differently based on what happens after the click. In one version, you have an aggressive sales page, countdown timer, immediate pitch. And the result is $85 CPMs, 1.2% conversions, and negative ROAS at 30 days. In the other version, there's value first landing, soft commitment, email sequence, and offer on day 3. The result is $41 CPMs, same traffic source, positive ROAS at 30 days. The traffic wasn't different, the system behavior was. And this is the metric that I mentioned earlier, the one that reveals misalignment. your 30-day versus 7-day ROAS ratio. If your 30-day ROAS isn't meaningfully higher than your 7-day, then your backend isn't compounding. You're relying on immediate conversion in an environment that actually punishes it. That is a diagnostic, but it leads to a harder question, one most people don't want to ask. And here's the reframe that matters the most. Traffic cost is no longer the primary constraint. Payback timing is. Funnels that need immediate ROI are fragile in this environment. Not because they're bad, but because they are impatient. In the current digital economy, delayed payoffs beat instant gratification, sequencing beats persuasion, and continuity beats pressure. That's not a tactical shift, it's a structural shift. And it explains why some businesses feel like they're working harder every month just to stay flat. They didn't lose the skill, they lost the fit. Their model requires something the market no longer provides reliably: fast commitment from cold traffic. So what can you do? You should not fight the current. You redesign the boat. Let me show you what's actually working without all the hype. In my research, 3 patterns keep showing up in systems that are stabilizing and profiting right now. First, lead capture is outperforming direct response again. Not because people won't buy, but because they won't buy immediately. The gap between interested and ready has widened. Funnels that bridge that gap with value, not pressure, are winning. Second, authority compounds faster than incentives. Discounts used to accelerate decisions. Now they often delay them because they signal desperation. Trust compresses decisions more effectively than urgency ever did. Number 3, winning systems assume that the relationship monetizes over time. Losing systems assume if I don't win now, I've lost altogether. The mindset made sense when attention was cheap and trust was easy. Neither is true anymore. The businesses stabilizing and growing right now are not clever. They're patient by design, which brings us to the 4 structural changes that I promised, the ones that make funnels durable regardless of what platforms do next. Now look, I'm not going to give you a checklist. Checklists are how people copy tactics without understanding structure. Instead, here are 4 principles that should shape every funnel decision you make in 2026. Number 1, expectation before persuasion. Buyers need to know what happens after they click, not just why they should. Unclear next steps create hesitation, and hesitation kills conversions. Before you optimize your hook, just ask a simple question. Does the landing page answer what happens now? Number 2, friction placement matters more than friction reduction. Early friction kills momentum. Late friction qualifies commitment. A form on a page might feel like a wall. The same form after value feels like a reasonable exchange. Same friction, different placement, and a completely different outcome. Number 3, consider realistic payback windows. If your model can't survive delayed ROI, it's not scalable in this environment. That's not a moral judgment, it's math. You either extend your runway or you shrink your ambition. Most people don't change either variable, and that's why they stall. Number 4, back-end continuity. The first conversion is no longer the win. It's permission to continue the conversation. Every touchpoint after the opt-in either builds towards the next commitment or erodes trust. There's no neutral. Funnels built like conversations survive. Funnels built like ambushes don't. Here's what most people won't say out loud. This is not a bad digital economy, it's an honest one. It exposes rush funnels, borrowed strategies, and shallow trust. And it rewards clarity, sequencing, and systems that don't panic. The people who adapt now won't survive 2026. They will find it easier than the years before because their systems finally match reality. So don't treat this as commentary. Treat this as a diagnostic. If your funnel feels heavy, it's not broken, it's out of fit with how buyers move now. And fit, not tactics, is a real advantage going forward. If you're building systems that need to work regardless of platform shifts, that's what this channel is all about. So make sure to like this video and subscribe to this channel if you want to get more content like this in the future.